today, and today I am going to discuss about erotic photography and the shame, right? People are going to reveal their shame while they're taking clothes off and while they creating erotic photography, and that is today's topic. Let me discuss about individuals as well as the couples. Erotic photo shoot, okay, for people creates a lot of possibilities, right? Erotic photography provokes my people who are shooting erotic photography, right? What that means, provoke. When people are undressing and performing during erotic scenarios, they feel a variety of emotions, right? And today's topic is people are going to reveal their shame, right, in front of the camera. What that means is that an adult who is feeling ashamed, embarrassed, shy, guilty, feeling negative emotions. And that transformation is happening during erotic photo shoot. Because create erotic photography, hot and sexy pictures, I would need them to get rid of this emotion, of that feeling, right? So revealing the shame to me, it's a therapeutic experience during erotic photo shoots, right? Normally, when you are an adult, right, healthy adult, no matter what you do, okay, you can't, it's not okay to feel shame and embarrassed. When you're a child, then it's okay, right? When you're an adult, then inside of you, if you are feeling unpleasant and negative emotions during erotic photo shoot, you are working with your body and with your feelings towards changing it, right? Erotic photography for some people, it's a therapy experience, right? Especially when we talk about shame, right? When I am taking pictures with healthy people, right, they don't experience shame. They are not embarrassed to undress, and they are not embarrassed to show their feelings to each other in front of other people, right? And me, it means me, other people. There are not many people. Sometimes we have one shooter, one photographer. Sometimes we have two photographers, two shooters. Doesn't matter how many people, right? If the couple is healthy or individual is healthy, he is aware or she is aware that this is something what is going to happen, that people are going to undress, that they will expose their body, that they will perform kissing, touching, and making love scenarios, if that's included, right? And they are going to perform it in a certain energy vibration. That is not a guilt, a shame, and embarrassment. Why? Because when I'm creating erotic photography in that vibration, it's not complete. Okay? I don't feel okay creating this photography when people are, and this is obvious in their body. When you feel ashamed and embarrassed and taking a picture during that moment, the photographer, if the photography is in tune, must see it and must feel it too, because it is awkward. Okay? If the person is nervous, he makes you nervous. Yeah, that's simple as that. The energy is contagious. Okay, and when people are creating erotic photography at my studio, that's what they're doing. First of all, they're coming to have an amazing experience. Okay, then they will have an erotic adventure. Okay, then they will try the things that they are not going to do anywhere else. Okay, so this is all novelty, this is all risky. Okay, yes, because when it's first time you feel nervous. That's why it feels risky, right? But when you are an adult in a healthy mindset, an adult mind is not worried, is not nervous. Like nervous means terrified. You can have a little nerve. Everyone, when you're doing something new or arriving into a new experience, you're a little bit, to say nervous. But it's not that. ill, and you could see that people are shaking or people are sweating or people are breaking down during, during that experience. This is nothing like that, right? So healthy adult usually during erotic photo shoot is excited, okay, looking forward to this, right, and happy to go into creative mode and explore new things, right? That's the healthy attitude. But there are adults who will arrive to erotic photography studio to share their shame, to share their embarrassment, to share their trauma, to bring this illness into the studio, right? And when I see these people, most of the time I've recognized them during the conversation. Even on the emails, I can see people who are traumatized, right? They will write enormous long emails and they will put out all their feelings, the issues that they feeling, and the problems why this is hard for them to do one way or the other. We will discuss taboos and we will discuss the limits, and people are just scared. Okay, so when we talk about an adult being free, okay, being strong, being confident, being sexy, it's all positive energy. Okay, that's what I want to shoot and that's what I want to create in my studio. But when we come across the shame, okay, come across the fear, the embarrassment, the guilt during the photo shoot, that's the emotion that I am working with. I know, right? I can't just tell that person, no, I don't like you being nervous and embarrassed and still and stiff and frozen during the photo shoot. I would like you to go straight away into the sexy, hot and confident mode. The human body is not able to change so quickly, right? So people need help. That's why they go and see therapy, okay, and speak with psychologists or sexologists or whatever, help they will get. But there is another way, okay, to do it for yourself, right? You can do it for yourself, working with your emotions, okay, at your home, taking picture of yourself, selfies, being naked and just breaking through. Okay, this negativity, what came from, I don't know, you see this feeling when you are a child, when you are born, you are brave, you are strong, you are adventurous, you are creative. When you are, when you are a kid, right? Then the life happens. Okay, we have a lot of blocks, restrictions, we have a lot of penalties, we have a lot of experience, and then adults become being paranoid, anxious, extremely terrified over certain things. And what I mean is adult things, nudity, right? Intimacy, sexuality, sensuality, everything what is adults, they are in a distance, holding in a distance. Some people will never consider create an erotic photo shoot because it is too much and it's not fitting in their brain. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see themselves. There are so many adults who cannot even comprehend the information. Why would people take an erotic photo shoot? Why would they want to see themselves being sexy in front of the camera? Why they would want to go through this experience, right? But this is all a creative freedom. And you, as a person, most likely, you see, we do not own many great pictures. We do not go see photographers. And that's an experience to know yourself and to understand yourself. And when you are with the artist, with a creative person in the studio, that artist's job to put you through what's happening. Light is gone. Okay, no light. The artist's job is to help you to reach that moment when you get rid of this shame. Shame about your body, shame about how you move, shame about where you touch yourself, shame about what your fantasy is, shame about your performance, shame about how you relax. In general, you see, I believe that adults should concentrate on themselves first to understand who they are so that they can attract or have a perfect match for them. Because if they don't know who they are, Who are they looking for? That's why there are so many people who are single or who are living in a relationship which is not a higher vibration. And what that means, higher vibration? We all go down to the energy. Okay? When the energy is high, there is a mood, yeah, there is a sexuality there is a game, there is an interest. It's a different life than you are living in a negative emotion. So you can observe for yourself how you feel. Let's say you are going to have an erotic photo shoot, okay? Let's say you are going to have an erotic photo shoot. And tell to yourself, I am going to have an erotic photo shoot. And feel what kind of the vibration you will sense inside. There will be a voice will say, I will never do this. No, or whatever, no. Straight away, no. You would feel negative vibration. There are people who arrive into a studio to break this cycle, to create a challenge for themselves. Okay, there are a lot of men doing it actually for a challenge. Once in a lifetime, they want to see themselves. So that's not necessarily only men going for the challenge. Couples doing it. Okay, couples doing it. Couples, I would say mature couples who really long time together, but there are young couples who just married and they would like to experiment and explore their body, explore the connection, explore the depth of the relationship, explore their sexuality levels, explore their creativity in the bedroom, right? And understand how they are with each other. And when there is someone there from the side taking picture during that amazing emotional sexual vibration, when they lose themselves, why people would need to create erotic photography or videos? Because in the reality, when you are in that energy, in that mode, imagine you're making love, you should be eyes closed and on the on the another planet. you know you can't be focusing and filming, because that's not a true vibration during the make love scenes, right? So sometimes people cannot just disconnect from their body and go into the living that feeling mode. Okay, so that's very important in my studio, that every person who will arrive would get rid of a negative emotion. That's the first thing, because it is not possible to create sexy pictures when they feel shy or ashamed, okay, and when they feel nervous, right? It's a negative energy in their body. Sexuality, it's positive energy, it's a confidence, it's a different vibration, right? We are attracted to people who are confident, who are in their zone, who are in their element, okay? And that is sexy for us, okay? Corn, the big industry of corn, represented a nudity and how to say, intercourse to reveal that sexiness, right? Different kind of erotic fantasies went into corn. But in the reality, to show sexual energy, you do not have to undress. You understand? You can make love scene the hottest and the sexiest if you are embarrassed couple with the clothes on. Okay? No, seriously, you can create an erotic photo shoot, the hot and sexy, with being dressed. You don't have to undress. But undressing is for a human mind, mental state is another level. It's a very brave and challenging experience. And during that time, when people undressing, of course, they are thinking about how they look, how they perform, how they feel. And believe me, there is a lot of negative vibration going through that moment, through that mind, okay? Because when we age, it is already a problem. Aging is already a problem, right? You can't accept the aging completely, right? That's why we have the industries, beauty industries, who are trying to fight aging, to prolong the way you look younger and so on, right? But it's inevitable. It's inevitable. So aging is another thing what I get across during erotic photo shoots. You see, no matter what is your size and no matter how old you are sexy or you are not sexy. So sexy is when I want you, and not sexy when I don't want you. No matter how old you are and in which shape you are. So that is very important to understand for a human mind. Erotic photography is based on sexuality, on the energy. You can be dressed or you can be naked, right? To perform naked, it's another level. Because you see, when you are absolutely free, yes, and you think that the life is the game, and you're ruling that game, and you don't care, right? That's when you totally live. And that's where you can create. And that's when you can change things for yourself. When you are in the vibration, when you're nervous, scared, and ashamed and shy, you are stuck. Stuck. Because you need balls to do something around here, around your life. You need to be confident. Confident in the actions, confident in the decisions, and even confident in the results you are going to get. You see? So erotic photo shoot is a transformation from the negative vibration into a positive vibration. From the moment when you are unsure, you know, when you are, how to say, not photogenic, when you think this is going to be a very hard for you, when you think that I'm not gonna make it, you see, into the phase where you're going to smash it and you don't care. You don't care how you look. You don't care, you know, what you're doing. As long as it's natural, it comes from your heart, it comes from your creative intuition, right? That's what we're developing. We're developing a totally different base for you to go forward. And when people create erotic photo shoot, they get those pictures. You know, the pictures which they look awkward, okay, when they do not feel their body, when they feel disconnected, when they are standing on the stage and the head is doing one thing and the face is doing another thing and the body is doing absolutely opposite thing. They would see themselves in this balance. That's the key of the erotic photo shoot, to give you an X-ray, a complete analytic at what stage you are at, okay? I'm not even talking about age now, okay? I'm talking about your state, emotional state. What do you feel, okay? What kind of a negative energy goes through, so that you need to be aware, okay? What do you think? What is worrying, okay? Why you worried? What's happening? Why? Okay? You will analyze your body, your mind state, your health in terms of physical health and in terms of mental health and in terms of emotional health. That's going to be the full display of analysis. And you know what I like about erotic photography? Because your photographer doesn't know how you feel, okay? It doesn't. It can sense the moment, because the body, you see, it reflects, okay? It reflects your emotions. The moment you stopped, okay, the moment you're frozen, the moment your face, you know, all stiff, you know, like that, yeah, the moment your hands are not relaxed, the moment it obvious, okay? When you start shooting erotic photography, it is obvious that you are not in your zone and in your element. Photographer's job is to lead you, to take you on a journey from the point one, okay, from the point A to the point Z, I don't know, right? But I'm just saying, it's an incremental journey when you slowly loosen up, when you understand, when you let go, when you overcome, okay? And that's all happening in one day. It's a photo shoot, not a year. It's a photo shoot for 2 hours. That's what happens in the body when it's getting transformed. And that's normal to be worried and nervous to come for the first time experience. It is not normal. But you see, these nerves in adult head can be processed in 10-15 minutes time, right? There are adults who stuck in this worry for hours. And I mean for hours. Okay, there is a simple photo shoot, erotic photo shoot for a couple, and you could see that the lady is just paranoid, nervous. She can't create normal pictures. There were times when I had to stay the half day just to put that lady from the confused, scared, nervous into a hot and sexy chick. Relax, you know? Relax. You don't have to prove anything, okay? You are not that person on Pinterest, okay? You don't have to nail that pose which that model, sexy model created. I mean, seriously, erotic photo shoot is about that person who arrived to the studio and his state, emotional state. So the best and the hottest adult pictures of you as an adult is when you're relaxed and confident and sexy. That's all that matters, because sexy is attractive and sexy is the energy that adults understand, right? Sexuality is that marker when we accept or we repel people, okay? We like it, we fancy, we're not fancy. Simple as that. But people are blocking the sexual energy because of the many reasons. First of all, society, beliefs, okay, how to say, church. There is so many reasons why our sexuality has been blocked. Parents, whatever, school, doesn't matter. Adults grow up and they are shy, okay, and they are scared to show themselves. They're scared to present themselves. They are scared to look into themselves to understand who they are. The moment erotic fantasies arise or whatever, they hold it inside, they hide it. And especially, you see, with the erotic fantasies, they can be the strangest and the wildest and the crazy thing that can come to your head. Because erotica, it's a sexual energy that repairs your mental state, that repairs and heals you. That's what erotica is. And when you see erotic photography, you get inspired and stimulated. You can change the way you approach intimate things by looking at it and by learning. Because when I create erotic photography, I create with people who genuinely sexy and hot, okay, who love each other for real, not for money, okay, and not for fame. When couple comes to my studio, they actually connected. They actually have the chemistry for real. They have an energy, they are brave, they are strong, they are unit together, they want to experiment, push the boundaries, push the limits and grow, to understand who they are, what they can do, how they look like. Because from that point, there is only the way up. When people come to my studio, okay, they will create the content, and I always call it the code, okay? Because this is all data and we can measure it. We can measure the energy, we can measure electricity, we can measure magnetic field. The studio changes. When I have people who are really in love and create erotic love scenarios, I have a thick air. I am hot, I am sweating in my studio, seriously, right? And when people don't feel anything but just doing it, nothing happens. So I am in that pot boiling with them and seeing their energy, how it escalates, okay? But straight away I can see when people arriving to the studio. You can feel them. Okay, and sometimes couples arrive disconnected and they are looking for that connection. They're looking for something to fix them, for something that they can build on again, a new relationship. And when I talk about relationship, I realize that every relationship, has levels, right? And sometimes you run one circle, I don't know, 1 year or 3 years, and you stuck. It means that, doesn't mean that you need to disconnect and leave, right? It means that there is another level for you prepared. You just need to climb up and have a totally different experience, relationship, and vibration with each other. Okay, and that's what I've noticed with the couples during erotic photo shoots. Some people arrive absolutely hot and sexy with each other, okay, and it's easy to work with them. And some people, I need to put my charger in another phone because it will die. Okay, and some people need help and stimulation. So for couples, right, they can go and see psychologist. Okay, but at the psychologist therapy session, you will be talking about it. You would not take action. Okay? Changes happen when you take action. You actually do something, change and feel. Right? That's how the real change happens, and that's why couple psychologist is not that effective, because we have a lot of separation, right? We do have a lot of people separated, right? Okay, so this phone will die because I have a very small battery, but this one is okay, right? So today's topic was about shame, and it's a very big topic because that's exactly what majority of individuals and couples will think about and feel when they arrive to an adult creative studio to make erotic photo shoots. Okay, different people have a different level of negative emotions inside of them and different strength. Okay, with some people it is very easy to get rid of the shame and embarrassment and shyness, and with some people are not. Okay, it depends. Depends on, depends on people, right? So that's the first thing what I would notice. Because without confidence and without feeling sexy, we cannot create 100% artwork, right? You can be embarrassed and naked, and some photographer will take a picture of you, and that would be fine. That is not what I do in my studio, because there is no point. He would look at that picture and he would see himself embarrassed in that picture. The information and the code in that picture will be that person is in pain. Okay, when couple, for example, feel awkward and nervous and creating erotic scenarios, that's exactly what they will see in that images or in those videos, that they are absolutely nervous together and they are embarrassed and shy. So the first step what I do at erotic photography studio, the first experience is testing and understanding, realizing what level of individual arrived to the studio and how to say, how damaged the personality is. Because negative emotion damages our mental state and in general our health, right? But our brain designed this way that it loves to be in pain, right? It loves to stay in that nervousness or anxiety or, shame mode. It loves. That's what our brain does. Okay, it puts us there. But erotic photography at my studio is only about positive vibration. Okay, so people who are arriving at my studio who are nervous and who are scared, I can tell you they are going to reveal this in first 10-15 minutes anyway. Okay, because it will come out of that system, right? They will start saying that they do not like themselves, that there is something wrong with them, that there is something, wrong with their body parts or intimate parts, or they will start telling other things, okay? Many reasons are behind it. I'm not gonna go there, okay? But the fact is that there are adults who are controlled with those negative emotions and they are going through their life, and what they desire is to get rid of that, okay? To get rid of that feeling. That's what they want, total freedom, to let go, okay? Not to worry. Not to worry, not to think, just to be themselves, who they truly are, okay? Because that shame, okay, or that embarrassment or that guilt came from somewhere. We know that energy, okay, and emotions are the feelings that are contagious. We meet people with the great attitude, okay, with the great energy, and we will have a great day because it's contagious, right? Then you can meet someone who with the really bad mood, and he is going to share that negative bad mood with you, say certain things, and your mood will change, okay, automatically. So that's what I'm talking about, energy. That's how I can impact, knowing this information, right? I can impact and I can direct the person in a certain direction, depending, give a vector towards a confident and a sexy mind and body. Okay, because adults vibrate in a healthy state, and when you are healthy, okay, nothing is wrong with you. When you are healthy, you are hot, confident, sexy, and strong. That's when you are healthy. When you think that there is something wrong with you, okay, right? Then your body thinks you are ill. Yeah, your body and your mind thinks that you are ill, especially when it talks about sexuality. Very often your body, for example, you put on little bit weight and you think that you are not sexy and you are not approaching anyone. You're thinking, why do I don't want a mate, or why do I don't want to, go and find someone, why I'm not going to the date? Because your mental state, in your mental state, you think that there is something wrong with you and your reproduction system is shut down. Okay, so we can change it. It's very easy to transform when you know it, right? I'm not saying it's straightforward. It takes time and it takes work, and like I say, depending on the depth. Sometimes I can change people from the scared and nervous situation in 1 hour, and the hot and sexy and, confident personality, who they actually truly are, because adults have to vibrate this energy, yeah? When you are in a negative vibration, scared and nervous, you are in a child vibration. And very often adults jump there, okay? And in the child vibration, children are scared. What if the parents would leave? What if, something happened, the world will end, or, they will stay homeless, someone will forget. Children are scared. When adults are vibrating in this energy, they become children. What happens with children in general? When adults are in a child's energy, what happens? Children don't have money, okay? Not very little, right? Children depend on someone, okay? Children do not have a relationship, do not have intimacy, okay? So that's what happens with the adult who is in a negative vibration. He's living in a child's energy, right? So let me just quickly finish here because it will switch off. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'm gonna close this because my camera